Okay, Fanzone's back. UFC 122 is over with. What the hell? I don't know. That wasn't the greatest event that I've ever seen. I can tell you that. It's not going to leave lasting memories in my UFC book of greats. However, there were some good fights. The ones that were good were very impressive. But I think, the fights that everybody were expecting to be great, Okami, Marquardt didn't pull off what we were hoping would be an awesome fight, especially for two guys that were going to be going into a fight knowing that the outcome of that fight would give them the belt. Well, not the belt per se, but the fight for the belt against Anderson Silva or Vitor Belfort in their upcoming fight. Joe Rogan had actually commented that sometimes he doesn't like when guys know that if they do win that fight that they will be in line for a title shot, only because they tend to play it safe and you don't usually get to see that great action, that balls to the wall, put it all out there on the line kind of fight. I think it was extremely boring, to be honest with you. Through round 1 and 2, I don't know what the hell Okami was doing. He was just diving, not setting up the takedowns, not even punching, barely throwing out a jab, and just diving, just aimlessly at Marquardt's knees. And you would think that he would know better. I mean, Nate can definitely stop a takedown. He comes from Greg Jackson's camp. There was nothing but the greatest wrestlers there. And to be diving on him like that without at least setting it up with a jab, a kick, something, it just turned out to be, in my eyes, a boring fight for what was supposed to be held up as the main event. Nate, this is the thing I don't understand. And obviously, I'm not a fighter. I'd love to be a fighter. But I'm not a fighter, so all I can do is comment on them. When you know that your fight, if you win it, you're going to get a shot at the title, and obviously that's what they want to do. Why aren't you killing yourself? Why aren't you going out there and trying to take the guy's head off? I don't get that. How did you go 3 rounds and at the end of it sit back and wonder, maybe I should have threw a punch more. Maybe, you just sit there and you're wondering, like, why are these guys not killing each other, Especially if a guy is not out of gas and he's not out of breath, why is he not, coming at the guy trying to just murder him? I don't get that, especially when the upside of that is going to be a title shot, which obviously these guys are trying to go for. Okami's got over 30 fights. Marquardt, same thing. Obviously you don't have those many fights and end up where you're at if you're not trying to get a title shot. So definitely bad fight, man. I just, if it was possible, just say neither one of them got it. Although, you know what, I will give Okami props because in the 3rd round he did come to life. He stopped with those bullshit takedowns, or attempted takedowns, and started flicking the jab a lot. Nate did get a couple off at him, but I definitely feel like he definitely solidified round 3 for himself. And I think it definitely could have been a better fight. Co-main event was actually supposed to be Sakara and Rivera. I guess Alessio Sakara was sick and couldn't fight. I mean, to wait till last minute to pull that, kind of decision out to say that the fight's not going to happen seemed kind of surprising to me. To be honest with you, when I was writing down on my little notebook here, see, I take all the notes on the weigh-ins and on the fights and as they go along, and I just take my little notes so I can remind myself of what I was looking at the time I was looking at it. And at the weigh-ins, he looked really drawn out. He just didn't look right, and I think it's kind of funny that I didn't know that he was sick, and it turned out that he was, and that he pulled out of the fight, or that he was taken out of the fight because of that. So Seaver and Winner pulled up to do the co-main event, and great fight. Dennis Seaver, little fire plug, man, he was just awesome. Just winging punches, and obviously Andre Winner, quick guy, great stand-up fighter, was winging some kicks and going back and forth. And then when Seaver tagged him, man, he felt it, and sure enough, he hit the ground. And that's the thing I love, man, because you don't see it too often when these guys go to put their rear naked choke and they hook the leg on the arm so that the guy can't pull, use both his hands to pull the arm off the choke. I think it's a very underutilized method of putting a rear naked choke on guys, and you rarely see it, but when you do, every single time the guy's arm gets locked up with that leg is a guaranteed win. And so Seaver pulled off the win on that. Working backwards. Wow, man, Seth Petrozelli, Carlos Vemola, awesome fight. Did you see the power on Vemola? Holy shit. I mean, he picked him up like, oh, like the Hulk, man, and just slammed him down twice. That was unfucking believable, man. Even my son stopped to watch and was like, whoa, what is that guy doing? Because as he walked by, he just seen him throw him straight up in the air. Great fucking fight, man. I see big things with Carlos Vemola. And I'm really excited to see some future fights with him because we really didn't even get a chance to see anything. That fight was over very quick. And I didn't actually give Vemola a lot of credit coming into it because I've been really impressed with Petrozelli lately and the way he's looked, the way he's been fighting. I think he was maybe a mid-tier fighter. Not to say that he's up in top tier right now, but he's been really impressing me lately. So I kind of had him out to win the fight. And wow, man, Vemola just blew me away. Let's see who else we got. We got Amir Sadala, Peter Sabota. Amir pulled off the win. His Muay Thai looked great. Actually, Peter, who actually is a ground specialist, I think was doing great on the stand-up. They were going back and forth. Obviously, Amir controlled a lot of it. Peter threw a lot of what are those, wind kicks and whatnot. Had the hometown crowd advantage, and but Amir still prevailed. He pulled off a lot of awesome kicks. I mean, just whack and whack, whack, whack. I mean, Jesus Christ, if you kicked my leg like that once, I would be on the ground crying and screaming, where's my mom, you know? I love the way he sets up his kicks. If you guys had that style where they do that rush in and they punch straight out and then they throw that side kick, just perfect, you know, they kind of duck off to the side. Mir Sadala, since The Ultimate Fighter, I've followed him, love him, see big things from him. His sense of humor is probably the worst I've ever seen. He's got a very goofy, dry sense of humor, but I think a great fighter. Comes out of, well, I don't think he's with Extreme Couture right now, possibly, but definitely hooked up with Forrest Griffin and them, and I think that also helped him with stopping the takedowns and stuff, because when you end up in a camp with Forrest Griffin, which I think he is with Extreme Couture right now, you can't help but be a better wrestler and stop big takedowns like that, which I'm assuming Saboto's plan was to get him on the ground and try to finish him there, even though Amir Sadala doesn't have a bullshit ground game. After that, we got Relic and Krzysztof Sozinski. Sozinski won decision. Both guys look great. It was a good fight. There was a little bit of stalling here and there at the, the crowd. This is the thing that I hate, is when the crowd boos when these guys are up against the cage. And see, this is why I love Joe Rogan. If I could marry Joe Rogan, I would, because that's his words are like Bible to me when it comes to MMA. Here's a guy that knows everything and anything about MMA, and not just about the sport, about the players, or I'm sorry, about the fighters, about the sport, about the technical aspects, about everything. And it's when it's mixed martial arts, you're talking boxing, wrestling, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Karate, Taekwondo. If I didn't say Muay Thai, I mean, you got all these different aspects, kickboxing, that come in, and he can actually critique and break down all those different mixed martial arts. And what I loved about it was, and he always talks about it, these guys that are in the crowd that are booing, and influenced, of course, the ref to break them up because they're fighting. It's mixed martial arts. It's not a boxing match. There's no criteria to how long you can hold a guy up against a cage. Some guys, that's their style, like Randy Couture, that's what he does. He holds you up against the cage and beats you up, and that's just what some guys do. And it's a technique, and I think you got to let that kind of stuff play out, because obviously they're not going to stay like that forever. And if they do, they'll lose the fight. I mean, if that's not motivation to break off from where they're at and get to do some more or control what they're doing in the stand-up against the cage in the clinch, then let them lose the fight. You know what I mean? They'll stand there the whole time, we'll go throw one punch, and that guy will win. I don't think the referee should be getting in there and dictating what's going on with these fights. Speaking of which, Kevin Mulhall, on the, which fight was that? Medashenko and Farrar. Holy shit, what a terrible call. I can't tell you how much it just burns my brain to watch these refs get in there and ruin these guys' careers. Because once you got a loss, and everybody knows this, perfect example is Mac Dazik and, what the heck is his name, where he was in a choke. and the guy said that he was out. And Evil Levine called the fight, and sure enough, Mac Danzig wasn't out. He was actually just chilling, you know, but they don't get to appeal to a board and say, hey, I really wasn't out, take the loss off my record, you know. And I think you got to give these fighters a little bit more credit, man. And obviously the refs have a hard job, and Mac Danzig did stick up for Evil Levine that night. But if you're a referee, you got to really get in there and investigate. Those 3 punches that Vladimir threw on Farrar at the end that actually got him to stop that fight, all 3 of those hit Farrar's arm. They didn't hit his head, and before that, Madashenko was just punching him in the back of the head. I mean, they showed on a replay, it had to be like 10 to 13 punches in the back of the head. At what point do you say stop hitting the guy in the back of the head, you know? I think there's a lot of idiocy that's going on around here with the referees. Josh Rosenthal, he's my hero when it comes to referees on that Brock Lesnar-Shane Carwin fight when he allowed that thing to go. And sure enough, here comes second round, Brock Lesnar won. Now, there was a good chance he could have stopped it in round 1, and I thought it was going to be stopped. But here's a referee that knows these are fighters. He wasn't 100% out. He was fighting back. He wasn't knocked out. He wasn't in the worst position because if you actually look at the tape, you'll see Brock's arms are so big that towards the end of that round when he was still getting pummeled, he was actually just getting punched in his arms because his arms were so big they covered all of his head. But I think that was a terrible stop. I haven't seen anything good out of Vladimir in the last couple of fights. He got dominated by John Jones. And, I mean, obviously he's a great fighter. He's been around a long time, and I'd sure like to see some big things out of him. And now Farrar, who's pretty much a new guy coming into the UFC, didn't get to showcase anything. Although right up until that point, he looked really good in the fight, even though that fight was very short-lived. I'm going to go ahead and stop right now and pull up part 2.